Hello everyone. Today we're going to take you through the end-to-end ad booking journey on CloudSense. During this process, we'll play the role of a sales user using Salesforce to manage our accounts, leads, and opportunities. The opportunity can be seen as the campaign object, as it were, in that it is what we use to house the details of the campaign brief. You can see across the top here an overarching process that we use in Salesforce to manage all of the activities and steps across the entire campaign. And we go into CloudSense to manage our media sales order, where we've got a more detailed process that sits around the sales order itself. We've got some summary information around pricing, total impressions, start and end date, etc. And we've got an indication of which approvals are going to be required during the ad booking process. At the moment, these are white, which means they are not required. But as we configure our line items, you'll see that some of them will change to different colors. For example, yellow, which means approval still required, and then eventually green as we move through the approval process. You can configure various details around the sales order here, including currency, budget, deal type, contacts, commissions, and cost of sale information. We also hold and create our revenue schedule records and billing schedule records as we add line items into our sales order, and these give us the ability to manage our pipeline and forecast data within the system. So let's go and configure some line items. We're going to look how you can add individual products, offers, and pre-configured packages. Let's start with individual products. In this scenario, we are a real estate agency that is selling advertising space on our website. So that's a traditional web display product here, with a digital line item. We also sell listings, so providing our customers with the ability to list properties on our website, rather than just ads. Now we start configuring our line items. The market we are focusing on is Victoria in Australia. The platform is digital property, and our product is a standard banner ad that we're selling as part of this sales order. We need to put a start and end date in for our line item. Each line item can have different start and end dates. So we just put November in, since this is a November campaign, and we can update our quantity. Right now you can see the final price is 0.0210, because our quantity of impressions is set only to 1. But if we put it up to 10,000, you can see that we immediately get the more reasonable price of $210. By hovering over it, we can see what the price is made up of, things like agency commissions, discounts, sales prices, etc. All different layers that go into our final price. By scrolling along a little further, we have some additional activities we can do. We can look at our targeting criteria, which currently just has one preset criteria, a primary position ad unit that's been configured. If we want to get more granular, we can add content targeting, geographies, devices, days of the week, and time of day, and so on. We can also do frequency capping, which can limit the number of impressions served, and we can do an availability check. But before we do that, we need to make sure that this line item has been configured correctly. As you can see here, CloudSense has given us instant and immediate feedback as to the validity of our line item, and is telling us that we need to populate the sales teams for our digital line item. So what we do here is enter the primary sales planner, the primary salesperson, and the primary trafficker who are going to be responsible for various different activities throughout this ad booking and ad operations journey. So that's our sales team configured, and we can close the window. We'll prioritize this particular line item, and as we do that, you can see that all the error messages have gone away. We can now do our availability check, and CloudSense will provide information around propensity, which means not only whether or not inventory is available, but also the likelihood that we can deliver the number of impressions that our customer requires. Here we can also see contending line items. So for example, if we don't have any inventory, we can look at which other sales orders are competing for that inventory, and perhaps shuffle some things around internally in case lower priority sales orders and campaigns are getting in the way of fulfilling our customers' requirements. So that is our digital product configured. Now let's configure our listing. It's a similar process, but you can see here some slightly different requirements. We've got our property residential website, but the products are slightly different. We've got sales listings over 12 or 24 months, and we've got rental listings also over 12 and 24-month periods. So let's go for the gold rental over 12 months product. And just like with our digital campaign, we have to enter a start date, for example, the 1st of November. But because it's a 12-month subscription, there is no need to input an end date. It will just run for a year. The final price of our listing is automatically generated, and this line item is all nice and correct. We don't need to do anything else. You can see those validation messages have gone away. So that's how we configure individual products within our sales order. We can do other things in here as well, such as add labels and premiums to our line items. We can also do things at the line item level, so we can select individual lines and reserve inventory through the sales. Now let's have a look at offers. Now that we can add the individual products, we can go to Offers, select our campaign, and click Apply. When we do that, CloudSense will load a pre-configured package into the sales order. And some of the contents of the package have already been pre-configured, so we don't have to worry about the market or platform or even the products themselves. We've got the start date applied to our listing products, which is the 1st of November, so we don't need to populate any of those. All we need to populate now are the start and end dates of our digital line item. So let's do that and put the same start date and end date in as our digital product that we entered a little while ago. We just need to prioritize this line item, and that is our offer completely configured with those 3 different components which form part of our offer. You can also see each of the prices at the line item level within the offer, and a total at the package level. So if we go and change the quantity down here, you can see that the price not only of that line item changes, but also the summary price of the package changes. Another key ability that CloudSense has is to manage updates and edits in bulk. So if we have a sales order with 50 items in it, CloudSense gives you the tools to make quick and effective edits to those 50 line items. Let's start by cloning our digital product. We add 40 in here and apply it. So we now have 42 individual products along with our package, and you can see them all there. So if we want to make changes to the quantities, we can simply select whichever ones we want, and then go and change the quantity to 45,000. Apply that to all selected configurations, and hey presto, all of the pricing gets updated automatically and immediately. So that's how we can manage large orders or bulk orders very easily within the CloudSense platform. Let's get rid of all those line items we added in here and go back to our original sales order, save it, and now move through the rest of the booking process. As mentioned before, this is going to have to go through some rounds of approval if we have configured approvals for our journey. Now for this journey we haven't got any internal approvals to go through, but we do need to go through a customer approval process. You can see from the configuration of our sales order here, we've got to go through a customer approval, but we don't have to go through inventory or pricing approval or cost of sale approval for this particular campaign. So let's move through the rest of the process. You can see that these buttons have changed in context, so depending where we are, we'll see different options that appear and or disappear. But the one thing we need to do right now is submit this media sales order so that we can execute these additional steps that are wrapped around our sales orders. So it's a workflow process that we're going to go through. The beauty of this workflow process is that it's all automated, so there's no manual activity. There may be some manual tests that need to be done, but otherwise, where possible, this can flow through automatically. So this is going to go through an availability check, it's going to reserve the inventory in Google Ad Manager, and it's going to go into inventory pricing approval if it needs to. Then it's going to flow through the cost of sale approval step, and it will pause on customer approval. And where it pauses, what we'll do is generate our insertion order and get that insertion order out to our customer for approval. So you can see now that the status of the sales order is ready for customer approval. What we need to do now is create our insertion order. So we create the order acknowledgement here. That's just going to generate our IO and is going to attach it to our sales order. So you can see your order acknowledgement here. We're going to take a look at that in a little while. What we need to do now is get this out to our customer for approval. We're going to use CloudSense's Click Approve to do that. This is going to fire up our e-signature capability. So everything defaults quite nicely. All we need to do is select the IO that we generated. This is going to be our quote. You can attach various different documents, but only one attachment can be a quotation. And then we can send that email out to our contact at Down Under Agency, who is Sarah Connor. So that's gone out now. Now we're playing the role of Sarah. And if we log into Sarah's inbox, we should see an email waiting for us. And that email has a link we can follow to a secure portal where we can view the insertion order. Here we can approve it or reject or decline it if we're not happy. But let's take a look at it first of all by downloading it. And this is what it looks like. So this is our standard IO. It contains details that we configure within our sales order, of course. And from Sarah's perspective, all of this is good. So she can approve it and might leave a small message like, "Please proceed, thank you," and submit that back into CloudSense. Sarah will get a confirmation email that we have received a decision to approve the documents, and following that approval, the workflow process that's wrapped around our sales order will now continue through to a status of booked. So the process is now finished. You can see that we've moved the sales order status to booked, and we can only do certain other activities now. We could push this SO into Google Ad Manager, but that's already happened automatically. The retract option is here if we want to make in-flight campaign optimizations, which we're going to look at in another demo video. What we've also done is we've created our revenue schedules. So this is our forecast revenue schedule for the campaign period across our advertising products and our listing products. We create the billing schedule items as we go into the billing runs. Finally, once the sale order is booked, we create a fulfillment record. So this fulfillment record now is the order that is used to manage a campaign while it's in flight. So let's take a look at it. And here we can see the order that we pushed through into Google Ad Manager. And if we click on the link, you can see that this is a real-life integration into Google Ad Manager. And this is the order that we pushed through. In this case, we had a couple of banner standard ads on property.com. And that concludes the ad booking sales process.